One of the things I want to do with this video is show how I made a banjo out of parts that came out of a real old antique car transmission. What you're looking at is a Roadster that I bought several years ago to build a hot rod out of. The engine in it was a 1953 Cadillac engine. The transmission was a DYNAFLOW. The DYNAFLOW was not a transmission that normally would have come in a Cadillac. The DYNAFLOW transmission was put in Buicks, Oldsmobiles, I can't remember which. The Cadillacs actually had a hydromatic transmission, but the factory burnt down, and in 1953 they put the DYNAFLOWs in the Cadillacs because that's all they had. And that's how I wound up with a DYNAFLOW transmission hooked to a 53 Cadillac engine. I had no idea that I would use any part of this transmission to make a banjo out of. In fact, the thing was big and old and heavy, and I originally thought I'd drive it in the car, but people told me they weren't that great. They were kind of sluggish and slow as far as transmissions go, and the thing was incredibly heavy. It seemed like it weighed 200, maybe 250 pounds. I couldn't pick it up all by myself, and I'm a pretty strong feller. So instead of it becoming a transmission for the car, I couldn't even find anybody that wanted it to run in their car. I decided to take it apart. There were some pieces and parts on it I thought I might use for something else, and in the process of taking it apart, I discovered this part inside that looked to me a lot like a banjo pot. You can see it right here. Of course, this, I took it all apart, and it was heavy. It probably weighed 45 or 50 pounds, but the weight mostly came from this big steel plate that was on the back of it. It had a big ring around it. I popped that ring off. I popped the steel plate off. There were 2 or 3 more round pieces inside that sort of would circle around, and I took all those out, got the pot out itself and cleaned it up, and after I got it cleaned up, this is what I had.